What's up, bro?
We're live again in the studio. The last one recorded probably that will be recorded in the studio. I am happy to say in my new apartment the acoustics are actually really good. It'll be nice for recording stuff.
Do you have space?
Yeah, I'm gonna make like a little like studio area.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm pretty
Wow.
excited. Thanks to the support of fans like you, we have the money to upgrade. We're gonna get new microphones. We're gonna get a table.
You guys
and a
have
chair.
You guys have been amazing.
Yeah,
subscribing to our OnlyFans account.
What you don't know is right now the microphone is set on a step stool. I'm like at like a little above it, and Matt is very high above it. And that's our poverty level setup that we got now, but we're moving up in the world.
I can't
and
wait.
We're doing new stuff, new great things, bringing higher quality to you folks who like your beer and who like your music and who like us. So continue to subscribe to our OnlyFans account, and we will continue to upgrade the podcast for your carnal pleasure and viewing pleasure and listening pleasure.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of carnal pleasure, today's beer is High Banks by Wolf's Ridge. This is an oat IPA, which is a little different. The profile is pineapple, orange, and smooth. But as we were saying, this is kind of like a regular IPA.
Yeah, I don't really get too much pineapple or orange. It's like, it's just kind of a fruity IPA. It's not bad. And I don't really get the oat either.
No, I don't. Yeah, it doesn't seem to make a huge difference.
Mm-hmm.
So it's your pretty standard IPA. We did have the Daybreak yesterday, which really does taste like coffee.
Another Wolf's Ridge. Yeah, they make two varieties, the Clear Sky Daybreak and then the regular Daybreak. I prefer the Clear Sky. I think it's nitro. We didn't get that yesterday, so I can't, and I didn't do my research, so I'm not 100% sure, but I've had both, and they were both
We'll just
excellent.
assume
Yeah,
that
we'll
we're
assume.
right.
Nobody's going to fact check us. But yeah, I like that a lot. That is a great beer. It's like 5% alcohol, creamy, and it really does taste like coffee.
Which I saw it at the store, and then I was like, I'll do something different.
Yeah.
And
you wish you had got the coffee.
Lesson learned.
Always go with
listener.
your first choice.
Don't fucking ever try anything new.
Mm-hmm. Don't try anything new. Don't go out of your safety zone. Just stay happy in your little bubble.
Yes. Speaking
of, look at these segues. Speaking of which, Matt, one second, sorry viewers. What kind of music do you like to escape? You know, that's the thing that people use music for, is escapism. Going on a little trip, a little journey in your mind's eye, or your mind's ear, I guess, in this.
In your mind's ear.
It's like music for your eyes.
Yeah. I guess I don't use music as a tool to escape so much. So I have a little bit of a hard time answering the question. Just kind of go with whatever music fits the mood I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
But for whatever reason, I've been listening to like older trance and progressive house.
Interesting.
And
I'm similarly on the same page as you.
I don't know why, but that does really put me in a positive mood.
Because it's like driving forward.
I think it's like formulaic, supposed to make you like happy and upbeat, and it is successful at that. I especially.
What kind of like trance or progressive house?
Like Cascade. Actually, I don't know if this really fits, but Big Gigantic, Grizz. I guess I don't know if you would really lump those in there.
But it is what you.
But it is like kind of like happy dance electronic music,
yeah,
whatever you want to call it. But it's something about like the build up and like usually the higher pitch woman vocals that seem to, I don't know, there's like a feeling of elation. So if the question's about escapism or like feeling good during what is a rather depressing era that we're living in, then I would say those are my go-to genres.
I have also been similarly listening to trancey type music with Animal Collective. I don't know if you listen to them too much, but their older stuff is way more experimental and kind of trancey and psychedelic. And when I'm going on like my daily allotted like walks outside now, like that's like I throw that on, I just kind of get
government allowed.
Yeah, I kind of get in my trance, and I kind of just like walk and kind of fade away and just really absorb that music and just kind of leave, like almost have an out of body like experience where I'm just in the music, walking around. It's hot out, and I'm just like kind of enjoying it as much as I can.
I was going to add that kind of trance or like minimal electronic music allows you to is meditative in a way that kind of your mind just wanders because there's nothing really in the music that's like making you think and much.
It can repeat the same like bars like 40 times before like something else happens.
That's I guess where the trance comes is like the repetitiveness, but that also lets your mind wander and kind of like think things through. It's like whatever you're kind of stuck up on, you can like think about it, get to its conclusion, and then let it go. And I guess that's like at least part of the meditative experience.
Yeah. In a slightly opposite direction, or maybe a very opposite direction, I've been really into like early 2000s. What I am coining, you followers and listeners, as American Pie core.
You've heard it here first.
It's a real thing now. It's a real genre, and it's like late 90s, early 2000s music that would have been included in a American Pie soundtrack.
We should make like a subreddit for this genre specifically,
or like come up with a playlist for it or something. But something about it, like pre 9/11, like pop punk kind of music, just fills me with the same sense of exuberance and teenage excitement of like the Y2K year. And it's fun, and music like that doesn't really come out anymore.
No,
like really.
We were saying yesterday when we were listening to it that we don't think this could exist right now.
Nobody's making bands.
It wouldn't. You can make it, but no one would be listening to it.
Exactly.
Which is really bizarre in some ways.
It's a genre that we also talked about yesterday. Like, will it come back? Like, will there be a backlash against home produced trap beats and like kind of like the at home like rapper stuff that's really popular right now, or is this kind of where we're gonna go from now on and not really return back to the bands of yore?
I don't know.
Rock, drum, guitar, bass bands.
I feel like everything gets more DIY as you progress. Like, if Nirvana was like quintessential garage rock, like make a band in your garage, which isn't that like, it's like, okay, that's not that hard to do. That's kind of like the punk ethos as well, as anyone can do this, simple power chords, but now it's getting easier and easier.
Yeah. And I guess one person could be an entire band now. Like, with the tools that are available, you could make this music.
There's some YouTubers that do just that.
Yeah.
Just in looping pedals, technology like that's more popular. Yeah, I would see that continuing, but things are cyclical as well.
Yeah. But I feel like we've been in this cycle for a long time.
True.
Maybe, like, when was the last time that, like, a pop punk song has been
I don't know.
Like the top 10 hits.
It feels like a long time.
Since we were probably in high school.
Yeah. Which is not like crazy long time.
But over 10 years ago.
Like a good decade.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah, that is. I don't know if that specific genre will come back around.
But we've definitely been in where we are now for, I feel like, a little bit.
True.
There's electronic music and pop rap crossover. And
True. We're kind of now entering like an international phase as well.
Lots of like K-pop became big, K-pop, and now we've got the Latin music and reggaeton, and all that's getting huge now too. But yeah, I think just the internet is opening up everybody's perspectives. Like, there might not even be like a homogenous, like, this is popular now kind of
Yeah, like we had kind of in the 90s or something.
Because anybody can find any genre they want now, like on Spotify, and you don't have to listen to what everybody else is listening to.
Yeah. Food for thought.
Food for thought. What is your quarantine music of choice? What have you guys been liking, listening to? Let us know in the comments.
And we swear we're trying to keep up with all the comments.
Lots of comments. Please leave a comment.
Another quarantine-related question. How has quarantine or working from home affected the way you listen to music? New schedule or routine? For me personally, well, being in an office setting, I feel like, especially one that's like kind of open and collaborative, has limited the music listening that I do, just because there's like competing interests of who's playing what in the office, or if you have headphones.
You guys actually play music out loud in the office?
At a low volume.
Okay.
But then that's essentially one person just trying to like please everyone, otherwise you have like a headphone in, people are talking to you. So it's difficult. So I would say now I've actually increased my music listening quite a bit, and it's been interesting seeing what places I go as to what kind of music is good for working for me. Like I don't know about you, but kind of like the relaxed, like chill beats or something is like a little bit too chill, too mellow for me. And then I just want to be like, I could lay in bed and listen to this.
Okay.
So it is. I tend to work more productively when it's something faster beat.
That's interesting. I've never been able to work with stuff that has lyrics, so a lot of times I do gravitate towards exactly what you just said, sort of like chiller, just music that is beats or like ambient music. But now that I'm home and I'm not wearing headphones and it's a bit like more in the background, I've been listening to more things like with lyrics and stuff, because it's like not just immediately being pumped into my brain. It's
that
like
makes a difference.
A little, exactly,
for sure.
But I honestly think I'm listening to less music because, at least in my job, like I'm not talking to a ton of people. Like I'm doing a lot of kind of computer tech work, so it's like very much like sit down and just get the work done. So I would just throw on my headphones and just trance out. But now, for whatever reason, maybe it's just a different schedule or just a different routine that I'm in. I'm listening to I'm not doing that as much. I'm just working in silence, and then I'm like, what am I doing? And then I'll throw on music. But it used to just be a thing where I would just like get to work, say hi to people for like an hour, drink coffee, and then put my headphones in and call it a day.
Gotcha. So something about the routine or something then. That's like
exactly.
Okay, this is what I do.
It's weird. Like routines are like not like it's like hard to build a new routine.
Do you like take a walk in the morning or something?
Yeah, I take a walk
at commute.
I take a walk at lunch, just so, because at the beginning of quarantine I realized that I was basically just like on my ass for the absolute majority of the day.
Yeah.
Like, so it's important to like force yourself to walk, because your commute actually adds like walking and stuff to your especially for you in New York.
I walk pretty far.
Yeah,
I walk like at least a mile and a half
to get to work
5 days a week.
Yeah,
just like with back and forth or and stuff like that. And those are usually I would like listen to podcasts at that time in the morning, just because like I don't know, it distracts me better, I think.
Yeah, it's a good time to listen to podcasts too, because you can't listen to a podcast when you're working because you'll miss it all.
Yeah, I know. I can't do that because I'm focusing too much. That's why then I'll listen to music. Like I'll listen to the Jeff Rosenstock album for like the 7th time, because I don't really like. I've already heard it, so I'm not paying so much attention to it.
Yeah.
It's more like the melody that I'm listening to.
Do you? I find there are a lot of people who they like listen to things as background noise, like podcasts, or like the new album came out. Oh, I'll throw it on while I'm cooking, or like I'll throw it on while I'm watching TV or something. I'm like, for me, I like can't do that. Like I have to, like I can't multitask like that. I have to like sit down and like only do the listening of the thing, or I can't like watch TV and like listen to a podcast at the same time. I don't know if many people do that.
Podcast and TV. That is like information.
Maybe that's insane.
Probably
okay.
some people do. I think more and more people are like getting distracted with like so many things that they're doing at once.
Yeah.
For me personally, like I can't cook or like clean dishes, do something menial without a podcast or music on.
Well, those are like made for each other because you don't have to think about washing dishes.
Exactly.
But I find a lot of people, and maybe this is contributing to like a lack of like real like love of music, is people are trying to always just multitask and like listen to this music and work, or listen to this music and like do something else that takes just as much like brain power, and it's like you kind of miss out on it a bit.
And anecdotally, I think it's extremely rare that someone would just sit down with just a record and just do that. I think.
But I think we do it because it's like...
I do it especially for this. And then I'm usually taking notes as well. But otherwise, if it's something that I really like, that I really want to enjoy it. But otherwise, there's a lot of times as well where I'll just like throw it on in the background of doing something.
For sure. Have you found that since becoming like a quote-unquote like critic of music now, like a professional music critic, it's kind of cool to sit down and take... I had never taken notes on an album before. Like,
no, me neither.
You miss a lot of stuff, even if you are an attentive listener. Not taking notes, like you miss stuff if you don't have like the lyric sheet up. It's just sitting down and writing down what you think and re-listening to certain parts to like understand what was happening. It's an interesting experiment to do.
The lyrics definitely, when I'm doing that, the lyrics definitely affect my experience more than usual, because I'm really bad at interpreting what lyrics are being sung or said at the time.
At that exact moment.
I often like don't understand, and it's more just about like the melody or rhythm, or just kind of like how things flow together. And so when I'm listening for this and I have the lyrics open, that impacts much more of my thoughts and feelings about it, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, do we get like badges, like music critic badges? Can we get into like festivals or concerts for free? Because we're big shot music critics.
Probably could. Coachella, hit us up.
Not happening.
Yeah, we could put you on our Instagram. Trust.
This was I guess I shouldn't steal Twitter jokes, but this was a funny one. It's like, I miss music festivals so much that I'm waiting an hour to get into my own bathroom just to relive the experience.
Oh, music Twitter.
Like, what are music festivals like? They have anything gonna happen? Like,
I think they're all canceled. Like South by Southwest was recently canceled, I think. I'm certain Coachella is or will be canceled. Lollapalooza, I'm sure, will be canceled if not already. Music festivals, like, we don't really care that much.
No, but concerts, I mean, that's
a bummer. I had to cancel like 3 big shows that I wanted to go to this year.
Me too.
But I've seen lots of bands doing like live streams.
It's just, I have like jumped into some live streams, but it's really, that's not what
it's not the same.
Yeah, like you're really there to experience it with other people in a group and be together.
What was a big show that you were missing out on?
Diet Sig. I think White Reaper had a show that they rescheduled as well. Those are the 2 that I'm remembering off the top of my head.
Yeah, I was gonna see Sturgill Simpson.
Interesting.
Which was really like not something I would normally see, a big arena show, but I was excited for that.
Where was that supposed to be?
It was going to be, I think, at the Shot.
Wow.
And then I also was going to see Deaf Heaven. And that also was canceled.
Where was that going to be?
I can't remember off the top of my head where it was.
They seem like a Bluestone.
Yeah, like not a small venue, but also not like a huge,
medium-ish
big one.
size, Newport-ish size.
It might have been the Newport, but yeah, it was. Those were 2 big bummers for me. But we'll get through it.
Will we?
We'll see it
Hopefully.
through.
I mean,
and I'm just excited for the time when like maybe we can finally like declare victory over COVID-19, and like the mass like hopeful elation that like follows that, and like going out again, and like people will just be much happier and hopefully nicer to each other, and just be grateful for the fact that like we can do stuff without a mask on and without like judging each other and stuff like that. So
hopefully,
yeah.
God, hopefully. I hope so.
Please.
And yeah, hopefully those bands are doing okay as well. If your main source of income is music, live shows are a big part of that.
It is. I've anecdotally talking to my guitar teacher who is a professional musician and does lots of live shows to pay the bills. Essentially, he was telling me him and a lot of his colleagues are getting into just learning how to do home production, which they've never like really had to do before, and that way, in lieu of like playing live shows, they can hopefully amass some sort of following amongst artists who are like, hey, I need a bassist on this track, would you mind like laying down something for this, and then like collaborating with people online.
Okay.
And I think a lot of people are moving towards that to just pay the bills if you're a musician right now.
Well, maybe something somewhat positive is coming of it then.
Yeah, people learning new skills and learning how to produce at home and stuff.
But definitely support your bands.
Buy merch.
Bandcamp, definitely buy merch. That's a big way to support bands. Bandcamp has been doing like pretty consistently all proceeds go to the bands. So I bought like $100 worth of shit of albums and stuff.
I got the I don't know if you saw when Jeff Rosenstock posted on Twitter, but they were selling like a really sweet like a what's it called, tie-dye shirt for his new album.
Saw that,
I bought that, and I bought the new album, and it's important. Support your bands.
Support your bands.
But stream them on Spotify just on loop, like when you're not even there.
So they get all 3 cents.
3 cents
per like
I calculated that once. Like if you make half a cent per stream, like what you're making like most people make like no money for Spotify. But if you can amass like maybe like 10 million streams on like a single song, like you'll probably recoup the costs of like
so make a one-hit wonder.
Make a one-hit being a
which maybe
segues
us into our next question, which is the Spotify model of multiple single releases ruining the mystery and surprise element of a new album release? So this actually I thought of this question when the latest Menzingers album, Hello Exile, came out, and they released a number of singles, which is like the Spotify, I guess, for whatever reason, the algorithm likes it.
Oh, like
when you release singles before the album.
I've been wondering why so many bands are releasing like 7 singles.
Yeah, they basically release the album as singles first, and I think that's due to like the Spotify algorithm incorporating them into playlists because it's new music and like kind of building hype for a new album release.
The streaming business model has, and that is exactly what we were talking about, really emphasizes singles and some like one song that 10 million people will stream. Versus like why put in the effort to make an entire album when you can just make one song and like make a ton of money off of that.
Right. Yeah. It's really like your fans will listen to the full album, but it's not reaching the masses unless it's a hit single.
And if you want to be a working musician now, especially without touring, like you need to push out those singles that people are going to stream a lot. And like you said, get put into playlists and things like that.
And I found that experience kind of I don't know if ruined is the right word, but it really like decrease the value I got from that album just because
you've heard it.
I recognize some of the songs already. It's like, okay, I already have my feelings and thoughts about this song, and they were like ones that weren't just like mixed in like later in the album. It was like, okay, we led with the songs that I already know. So what's the like? I kind of knew this album already.
Yeah, and sometimes releasing a single outside of the context of an album like can make sometimes it works better with like the songs that it's sandwiched between or something. Like,
yeah,
it can really. I think back to like imagine if a bunch of the songs off of On the Impossible Past like had been just a single. Like they
would be really weird.
They flow so well together and they tell like kind
I don't know
of a
if
story.
they could be.
Yeah, it's bizarre.
And maybe that just makes for a better album in general as well.
And a very topical example of this is like one of my favorite bands, Bright Eyes. They've dropped like 5 singles in the past like couple months, and it's like it's like bizarre. It's like I feel like, well, what's the album gonna be at this point? And some of them like don't fit together, and it's like I don't what's going on. It would have been just tight if just like new Bright Eyes album out of nowhere.
Yeah,
like, but
that's kind of what Kanye does. And
yeah,
it's honestly more, and Jeff Rosenstock.
Yeah,
like the last 2 albums have just been like, oh, here it is out of nowhere.
Yeah,
it's really exciting that way. It's much more exciting. Like you have no idea what you're getting into.
But at the same thing, we just said support artists. So like, if this is how artists have to support themselves, like,
it's like the new reality where Spotify determines
it's probably not
who and how people will be successful. Sadly, but as consumers, we can change that. We really can. I think so. It's like change what you do. Like if you decide to support people by buying the album, I mean. The reason Spotify is successful is because people want to listen to stream music, like and have all of it.
And it's free. I don't know how many people still use the free Spotify.
I'm sure a decent few.
But it just goes to show, man, how much the music industry kind of has always taken advantage of artists. Like before streaming, like the record labels got so much money from each album sale versus the band. Then they had to deal with like illegal downloads and stuff, and now things are streaming, and it's just super hard to make money as a musician.
Yeah,
unless you're like Katy Perry, which is a very dated example. But I meant to say Taylor Swift or something.
Yeah,
like,
it's because we were
watching a ton of Super Bowl. That's kind of fun thing that I should recommend to people is we went down like a rabbit hole the other day of YouTube videos of like all like the past like 20 years of Super Bowl halftime shows.
We should say that this started with Creed watching a Thanksgiving
Day Creed because it was funny.
Performance.
And then YouTube's like, hey, you like this? You should watch Michael Jackson at the 1989 or 1993 Super Bowl halftime show. And then we just started watching a ton. And out of all the stinkers, like I feel like there are more wins. Like at least the ones we watch were all really sweet.
They're huge productions.
Huge artists, and it's an impressive spectacle. And to have watched like 10, 15 in a row, like was like I don't know, it made me appreciate it a bit more than I normally do.
For sure, and people are trying to one up each other to a certain degree as well.
The escalation from like the early 2000s to like the past few years, like just a 20-year time span is insane. Like it used to just be like roll out a stage on the field and it's like daytime and there's nothing crazy going on, and now it's just insane drones and people jumping off the top of the dome and
the like costumes and choreography are ridiculous.
Like 5 different guest artists and we did watch the infamous Janet Jackson nip slip, and in slow motion, Justin Timberlake. I don't know how anybody ever thought it wasn't on purpose. He like is feeling around for it, then grabs it with a fist and rips it off as soon as the music ends. It's like, what was going? Like, what even was that? Like, what's happening?
That was clear. I feel like,
and it ripped.
This
off
shouldn't
so
be a conspiracy theory.
It's not a conspiracy.
It was clearly a play for attention.
And why they? And it's weird. Why did they do it? Why was it such a big deal? It's
I don't know. It is a titty during the Super Bowl,
but it was cut like It was like 40% of the breast was covered with a starfish, a silver starfish of some sort. I don't know.
I don't know. It was still hot.
It was still hot. 15 years later,
I remember that being a big deal.
Yeah, that was kind of a bad Super Bowl halftime show. It was like It was like so fast. They had like 10 different artists come out. It was like that one was not very
it's
good.
Weird style where
Yeah.
Janet Jackson's wearing like this dress up, like kind of like looks like a warrior outfit, and Justin Timberlake's in his like baggy.
Yeah, it was like the height of like early 2000s like bling era to hip hop, and like who came out, like Nelly and
P Diddy.
It was strange,
bizarre. But it's weird that I don't think Taylor Swift has ever done a Super Bowl.
Has she not?
I don't think so. That's kind of bizarre. Like
maybe she might not have.
What she should do a Super Bowl with Kanye. That would be fucking awesome.
Bury the hatchet. At the Super Bowl. You heard it here first.
People would watch the Super Bowl just for that.
Oh yeah, like Taylor Swift, Kanye West. Reunion tour.
What if they just shit talk each other during
like started fighting each other during the thing? That would be kind of funny. Wow. Is Kanye making a new album?
I don't know, man. He's pretty like fashion focused.
Oh, is he fashion now?
He's like building. So the latest on Kanye is he's out in Idaho or Wyoming, Montana.
Yeah.
Building his new Yeezy factory.
Oh, he's building a factory there.
Production facility.
To make Yeezy stuff.
Yeah.
He had a new single that was actually really good.
Which one was that?
It was like "Bathe Me in the Blood" or something.
Oh yeah.
And I actually really liked that one.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. Maybe that's just his future, just like putting out enough music to keep people kind of interested.
Is Yeezy still like a hype beast? Like, do people still buy whatever he puts out?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. It's a big deal. I think that's a big money maker for him.
Mm-hmm. The shoes are kind of cool. Like at least the newest
pretty
ones.
Cool.
Yeah.
Anyways,
what else is there? Excuse the rolling sound.
How are we doing on time?
We are at 32 minutes.
Okay.
Maybe like one more.
One more.
Picks for each other.
Okay.
Yeah. So let me scoot back over here. So I guess to close this out, we're going to recommend some music that we don't think the other has heard before, and we don't think that maybe you guys have heard before. So go out and listen to these songs. So Matt, what do you got?
So I will give you "Ignorantes" by Bad Bunny.
Mm-hmm.
This is a super popular song, but I don't think that you've heard it, and I think you'll find it interesting maybe because it's like the emo rap but Latin style.
Yeah, that's what I've heard from Bad Bunny stuff that I've heard.
Big Bunny. That is honestly better.
Big Bunny. Yeah, Bad Bunny. That's, I think, the last time I was listening to him, I think maybe you were there even, I like made that comment that it sounded like emo rap, but like Latin music, emo rap. And
it has like a reggaeton like beat underneath it. So it's like a weird hybrid of different things. So maybe it'll be interesting for you for that reason.
Cool.
The other one I'm giving you is Seneca Falls by the Distillers, because I know the Distillers has been recommended to you multiple times. Okay. I don't know if you've ever really listened to them or not.
If you've recommended them to me, I've definitely have listened to them, but they may not have stuck.
May not have stuck. And this is the song that got me into them.
Maybe this will
and was on one of Tony Hawk's Pro Skaters.
Oh shit! I
think 4 maybe. But I really think you'll like this song, and I think you'll like
I'll listen to it, and next time we do this, we will talk about both of these.
Yes.
I will let you know. I will probably like both. Mine were... so I was talking about Animal Collective before, and this is off of their album Feels, which is like the one album right before I think they got like kind of more mainstream sound. They've never been mainstream, but like they kind of went a bit less experimental, and this is like kind of a good intro to a somewhat like kind of experimental, kind of trancey, kind of like psychedelic amalgamation of like everything that Animal Collective sort of is. Okay. And I think it's a great song, and it also has a little bit of like punk rock to it. There's like some scream vocals too, so that's pretty sweet.
Interesting.
Which you may like. And then I will also recommend. It is a jazz standard. It's called Airgin or Airgin. It's not a real word. It's Nigeria spelled backwards.
I see that now.
Yeah, and it's a jazz standard, but this is a 1960, I think, cover of it by Wes Montgomery, and it's on his album The Incredible Jazz Guitar of Wes Montgomery, which is probably one of my favorite like jazz albums of all time. Is considered maybe one of the best like guitar jazz albums, and like the pace of it is like blistering. The actual guitar is crazy, like incredible sounding, and it's just a really great like jazz jam. And I don't think you listen to too much jazz, so maybe this could be like a cool doorway into that. And he also plays. He developed a playing style where he plays with only his thumb. He doesn't use a pick, and he only does like kind of down strokes with his thumb, which he invented because when he was like learning how to play guitar, he didn't want to wake his neighbors or his like family or something.
Gotcha.
So he would just use his thumb to play, so it was quieter. But he became really, really freaking good at playing with his thumb.
That's a really cute story.
Yeah,
and really nice. Is he then like covering originally a saxophone? Like,
yeah. So in jazz, there are what's called like jazz standards, which like somebody will have written, and then basically it becomes a standard repertoire for like jazz players forever, and everybody kind of has that in their back pocket. Like
Gotcha.
You play with a band or whatever, and you're like, hey, you guys know X, Y, or Z, like Kia this, and then you guys can just all play it together if you have the chord sheet or whatnot. So yeah, it was originally made by who was it?
Sonny Rollins.
Yeah, and it was like a sax. It was originally 1950s like sax jazz thing, but it's become since then like just a standard amongst jazz players to play that song. Yeah,
fascinating.
And then I think I had one more, which was Glint by Deaf Heaven. And that's, I think this might be just good to throw on in the car, because after this you got to drive back up to Toledo. It's like a 10-minute song, and Deaf Heaven's super good about these like grandiose, like moving, like, long songs with multiple passages and stuff. And I think this is one of their greatest off their most recent album. And the end is I don't throw out the like this term lightly, but like it's kind of like an epic conclusion to the song. And whenever I hear it, like I basically listen to all 10 minutes just so I can get to the end and hear the build up and then the final like climax of how the song ends. So
nice.
It's a super interesting, hardcore, just insane, heavy song. So it's awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's like the Cloud Nothings. I thought.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, it's exactly like that. Like I'm gonna listen to this entire song just so I can like reap the reward of like getting.
I'll do that at the gym where I'm just like sitting there for 8 minutes, and then it gets to the part I'm like, oh fuck yeah.
Yeah, I haven't listened to that in a while. I'll have to throw that on again because I love that song.
Always bangs, always slaps. Okay, well now you have homework, listeners.
Homework. Go out and listen to those 5 songs, and come back next time we do this, and we'll talk about it.
And stay safe and healthy.
Stay safe, stay healthy. Stay frosty.
Stay frosty.
I'll draw. All right. Anyway, see you later. I'll drive.
Stay frosty.